What's up, everyone, and welcome back to NCAA 14 Syracuse Dynasty. It has been a while since I uploaded one of these, but I said I wanted to do a scouting update, and I figured now is a good time to do so I could show you guys what we're doing with our recruiting board. Now, I'll show you guys the skill tree as well. Well, first I should say that score is different than the one that you guys saw in the last episode where we did take on Notre Dame, and that's because I lost my most recent save where we were about to take on Clemson because I was getting ready to record this video and I had a power surge in my house. So the file got corrupted because it was saving like while the power surge happened. I was saving my progress before I recorded this video and the power surged at that exact moment. It was really crappy. I was like, really, this is like the only time I've turned on my PlayStation to record in like a week and a half. Well, actually, that's not true. Well, yeah, last time I recorded Road to Glory, and every time I've turned on this PlayStation to record Road to Glory, I have just not gotten around to recording Dynasty. Part of that is I'm just dreading the next game because I know we're gonna lose. We're taking on Clemson, and I shouldn't necessarily jump to that conclusion right away, but instead of the stats that you guys saw at the end of the last episode, we instead lost 49 to 24. I actually think the score before was like 49 to 3 or something anyway. So we actually did better than we did in the original. So just run through these stats. This guy averaged 11 yards per carry. So it's just a look at what their team did really quick. And now we'll look at SU player stats. Dungy had a better day. Fredericks had a pretty good day. Strickland didn't get a whole lot going, but we could lean on. Well, actually, it doesn't really look like Fredericks had a great day either. Yeah, I had 3.6 yards per carry is not very good. Dungy ran it a lot though. It is a spread offense. Paris with a big day. Ishmael, Adetawo. The offense was kind of quiet. It looks like gave up a couple sacks. Looks like we got a couple sacks of our own. Another half. We got a couple sacks. That's not bad. Alright. And this is the team stats for the game. I like these team stats a lot more because all the important yards are towards the top. And because I don't really care about, like, when I show these recaps, I'm not really going to show punts, penalties, time of possession. Although we actually out time of possession to them, but we got significantly fewer yards per play. We didn't force them into third downs enough. Our defense is definitely the weak part of our team. But anyway, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is we're going to do a recruiting update. And that's because this is a little more important, so it's something I want to cover multiple times throughout the season. So I'm going to say right now that we'll take a look at our own schedule first, because it's going to depend on a couple of things. One, we're going to do one now, and so say this is week 5. So I'll do another one probably in our bye week, and then another one in this bye week, and probably another one at the end of the season before our bowl game, if we have a bowl game. I'm not sure if we will have a bowl game. We have a rough schedule the rest of the way, though. We're taking on Clemson this week, the #1 team in the country. We're probably going to lose that one, but then we're going to take on NC State, a team of similar talent, and I've scheduled a few recruiting visits for this week because I think it's a game that we can realistically win. Louisville is a game I think we can probably win. So is Wake Forest. I think we will probably be favored in that one. We'll be 4-2 after this week. So I'd still say, even though we had an easier schedule toward the beginning of the year, we do have that win over North Carolina still on our palette. So Louisville, Wake Forest should be games that we have a good chance of winning. Florida State's not a game I'm expecting to win, but Pittsburgh, Boston College to end the year should be pretty easy. So I think we're going to get to 6 wins. And if we do get to 6 wins, then I'm going to sim the rest of the season. I'm going to be doing the recruiting and stuff, but I will be simming the rest of the regular season because I don't really care what bowl game we get. And unless we have a really good conference standing, which I imagine we won't, we're already in 3rd place now with Clemson and Florida State. The next 2 well, actually, it's not true. We play NC State and Wake Forest, but 2 teams that we have still to play. Unless we can pull off an upset against one of these teams, I don't really see us keeping pace in the conference. So if we're out of the conference by that point and there's no chance of us playing in the ACC championship game, there probably won't be. I'll spoil that right now. Then I'm going to simulate the rest of the games because I really don't care what kind of bowl game I get. I'm really trying to move forward with this team. The goal wasn't even to win this year. I think we've already really overachieved as is. So that's my plan for this. I already don't play every game anyway, but I'm going to be playing even less because we're not on any sort of contention run. So we have a guy scheduled to visit this week too. So this is a pretty up-to-date recruiting board. So this is the top guy. This guy had a high interest in us to begin with, but I kind of misplayed my hand because we were only putting about 300 points into him to start out because we had a pretty decent lead. And now we're in kind of a recruiting battle with this guy. And I've been putting max points into him, and we haven't scheduled a visit or anything yet, but I'm hoping we can get him because we really need linebackers. We have a lot of senior linebackers. This guy's much more of a pass coverage guy. He has 83 man and 85 zone. He's not great against the run. He has only 74 block shedding, 77 tackle, but he does have 85 pursuit, 82 play rec. And I don't know what his awareness is. I don't know if it doesn't look like it shows that here. But he's also got 91 acceleration. So he's a guy that I really wanted to get. He was my top guy from day one. He's always been number one on this board, even though I haven't put the most attention to him. We got this athlete, Derek McDonald. We are second place right now to Notre Dame, I believe. Yeah, and Boston College is right there with us, surprisingly, too. So here's his scouting. I don't really know what he is as of right now. He looks like he could potentially be a receiver with that spec catch and catching and route running. Maybe he'll be a receiver for us. Not greatest release, but all the other stats are pretty good. He's definitely not a defensive player. He also has good carrying and breaking tackle. And he has a decent arm if we wanted to put him at quarterback as well. He's definitely not like a running back, though, I don't think. I definitely think he's more of a... Because I think his carrying's only 79. He does have 86 juke, 86 elusiveness. So he could be a running back or a wide receiver. I'd probably lean more toward making him a receiver. And he's a guy that I really think can make an impact from day one once we get him at whatever position we end up putting him at. I don't think it's going to be quarterback, but we need tight ends, so at least a couple on our roster. So this guy's not the greatest tight end. He's more of a blocking tight end, but I believe we have the lead on him right now. And he has decent receiving stats as well. We might redshirt him, honestly, if we get him, because I don't think he's as good as the other tight end we were looking at. But as you can see right now, we have a 255-point lead over UCLA, and we really need a tight end, so I'm continuing to put points into him as much as possible. This guy, Josh Nelson, I found, is a JUCO transfer, so I don't know how much time we'd have with him, but he's only a 3-star recruit, and I was trying to target these guys that we could potentially get back in the race with down the line. After the first couple weeks when I started to kind of think that we weren't going to get a lot of the top guys. And we play in a 4-3, keep in mind. Look at this guy's stats. 86 power move, 87 finesse, 84 block shed. He doesn't have very good strength, speed, acceleration, any of that. But he is also a very good tackler, and he has decent pursuit. But he is going to be a monstrous pass rusher for us. And he is going to immediately make an impact from day one at defensive end, and we have a huge lead on him right now, and he's scheduled to visit this week, so that should be good. We should get another piece for our team next year, a good pass rusher. It's something we really don't have on the roster right now. Teddy Davis, kicker. We need a kicker next year. We're trying to pump as many points in this guy as possible because he has 89 kick power. Not the greatest accuracy, but that doesn't really matter because this is still a game that had the old kick meter, so I could pretty much make kicks from anywhere. Nate Walton's the guy we were looking at. His stats aren't the greatest. He has okay strength, not great, 77. Decent pass block. His run block is really good. Impact block is nothing really special. We're behind Washington considerably, but we need depth on the offensive line. Actually, we're only down by 3-10. I thought we were down much more, but we need depth on the offensive line, and this is a prospect who's not that bad. Will Meeks is a guy we have a huge lead on, and we don't need safeties, but we have such a huge lead on him. And he's really good in zone. He actually might be a little bit more... He might be a linebacker more than anything, it looks like. He does have low block shedding, but this guy would probably be a guy that we consider turning to a linebacker because he has actually really good speed, like 90 speed, but he's decent in zone. His press is actually his strongest coverage rating. He has okay block shedding and good tackling, decent hit power. He might be a guy that we move positions if he does end up on our team. Carl Jackson's a guy who was interested in us from the beginning. He's more of a one-trick pony than the other person. We were Josh Nelson guy we were looking at, Joshua Nelson. But this guy is really more of a rusher than anything else. He has really good speed and agility. Well, not very good agility, but good acceleration. He also has good strength, but he's much more power move, block shed. This is a guy we would potentially put on the bench for a year and then see where we are with him after a redshirt year. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we have a pretty good lead on him at this current moment, so he might be a guy that we can find a spot for next year. Matt Montgomery, another athlete we were looking at. We weren't looking at a whole lot of athletes. This guy, I really don't know where he fits in because he's listed as an athlete, but he doesn't really fit anywhere, it doesn't look like. So he looks like he might be like a defensive lineman or something. He has decent block shed and power moves. He doesn't do a whole lot, though. Like play rec, pursuit's decent, injuries okay, tackling's okay. He might be like a defensive tackle. I'm not sure yet, but he's a guy that we're really looking at just to have some more talent on this roster. And actually, we have such a big lead on him. I'm gonna take out a few points here, take him down to about 320. Or 300. I'll manage this off screen a little bit. JUCO guy we're looking at right here, James Black. I actually just put a few more points in him just a few moments ago. Good pass blocking and okay receiving stats, not very good. He's very fast, or pretty fast as well for a tight end. I'll put some more points into him right now. We're about 350. And we have 100 points left still. Vincent Burnett, decent strength, good pass block, good run block, good impact block for a depth guy anyway. Nick Fowler is a guy we're looking at the safety, potentially moving him to linebacker as well. I'm not 100% sure because he has good block shed, good tackle, good hit power, good pursuit, but he's not very fast, and he has decent coverage ratings, so I want to utilize that a little bit more because I think 76 is way too slow to play safety. Chris Saria, a good corner right here that we found, kind of depth guy. 74 in all of his coverage stats. Not a great tackler, and he needs to work on his play recognition, but in terms of athleticism, he's pretty fast. He's got okay jumping, not greatest agility, but he's a guy who we could definitely have on our team and utilize down the line. He would be a redshirt guy, obviously. This guy actually didn't finish scouting. I don't know if he's any good. Yeah, this guy's really fast, but he has like huge interest in us. So I've tried to keep these guys who we have huge leads on my draft board, even if I'm not doing anything with them, or I don't plan on really doing anything with them. This guy actually might be more of a running back. He's an interesting player because he has 92 speed, but only 76 acceleration, and he has like 51 elusiveness too. So I don't really know what this guy is. He might be more of like a tight end. I don't know. Andre Russell, the guy, we didn't fully scout him either. He looks like a bust. He's another guy who I think is just really interested in us, though. So we have him on our draft board because we have a 770-point lead. But if we don't get him, I'm not going to put any points into him. If we get him, we get him. If not, I don't really care all that much. Scouting for this guy, Tyrell Nichols, he doesn't have great receiving stats, but he's pretty fast. He got good route running, and he might end up being like a decent running back if we move him there. He's got okay ball carrier vision and carrying. Trucking, not great. We would have to figure out what we're going to do with this guy if he ends up committing. Antoine Berg is a guy I'm looking at. He has decent zone. He's a decent pass rusher as well. He has okay tackling, okay pursuit, okay play rec. Not the greatest, but he's a guy we have a big lead on anyway, so I'm not really concerned. If we don't get him, we don't get him. If we do, we do. It's whatever. This guy we've fallen behind on a little. He's not the greatest. He's a good man and press, but not very fast. Antonio Rogers, I don't remember what this guy's all about. We have a lead on him, but looks like he's actually a pretty decent receiver and an okay blocker. TJ McPherson. I'm going to have to add more linebackers to this because we're not going to get very many. Andrew Rutledge is a guy we're actually pretty far behind on now. I didn't realize we were so far behind. I didn't really care much for him. He's got okay stats, but not a guy I want to put all my resources into. And this guy, Nick Malone, I just found him. I was looking through guys who had a lot of interest in us recently, actually, just before I recorded this video. And this is a 3-star guy who's a 77 overall. And the top team, USC, only has 250 points on us. And I think they're only getting like a couple hundred extra bonus points a week. Yeah, 245 extra bonus points a week. And we have really picked up a lot of interest on him in the last couple weeks. We just changed plus 245. And I didn't even have him on my scouting board. So He's a guy who can be really good, though. He's a stud, and this is not a guy we would redshirt. This is a guy who would step in day one and make an impact for us. Very balanced player. Only 80 strength, but he has 82 pass block, 82 run block, and 85 impact, which I think is most important because that means he's going to hold his blocks. Here's Eugene Holman. This is a running back who's a little bit of everything. Doesn't have the acceleration or agility, but he has He has a lot of speed. Good at breaking tackle, trucking. Also very elusive. Spin move, juke move. Carrying needs work. Ball carry vision needs work. But we can find a role for this guy if he does end up committing, because we have a 855 point lead on him currently. So I'm trying to think of who I should put some points into while we're here. But I'm actually going to go off screen probably and do some more with the scouting before I submit this week for simulation. So that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this scouting update. And I'm going to have the game against Clemson out sometime this week. I'm going to go record that now. After I finish my scouting for the week, I'll work on next week's scouting, and then I'm going to record that gameplay. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and see you next time for more NCAA football for the Syracuse Dynasty.